In week 5 of the Go Setups GT3 series, we make our way to eastern Belgium for Spa. This is one of my favorite tracks to watch, however, it's a lot more difficult than it looks to drive. I have two races for you today that show exactly how not to drive around Spa, and if you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for videos like this every week. Let's get started. We start this week on the back foot, unable to put together a proper qualifying lap, so we'll be starting 17th on the grid here at Spa. We're going to try and learn from our lessons of last week and warm our tires up just a little bit better so that we can get a nice run through Radion and up through the Camel Straight. I wasn't able to complete as many practice laps as I would have liked, but I am fairly familiar with Spa as it's one of my favorite tracks to watch in real life. I do have quite a hard time with it though, given all of the high speed corners, how much time you can lose down the straight if you don't get them perfect, and definitely still learning cornering technique and trying to get better here. So, as the lights are about to go green, we're going to make our way down towards Eau Rouge, just trying to be as careful as we can. We don't want to tank the safety rating like we did last week. So, we're going to pick our way through here real nice, and it seems like the grid was able to get through relatively clean. We're going to give this McLaren just a little bit of space. Again, we don't want any contact on the first lap. We're just going to try and keep it clean and slot in behind here. So we've got a Ferrari here showing the nose on the left, and we're going to tuck in here and catch the slipstream all the way down to turns 7, 8, and 9. We're going to give this BMW just a little bit of racing room and then close the door here. Just trying to slot back in line and have a nice clean first lap. So now down to turn 12, we're gonna hit the brakes and go just a little bit wide. We see the BMW stick a nose in, so we're gonna give them plenty of room, and unfortunately we get a tap and we're not able to save it. So the 17th starting position, we're now down to 21st with it looks like nobody behind us, so we're going to try and slot in here and just find a nice groove, put some laps together, and try and make sure we're not having any more contact. So, as we see plenty of cars off on the right, we're just going to make sure that we don't collect any of them as they're coming back on track, and we're up to 18th here. You see a slow GTR right up ahead, and not sure if he was carrying any damage or just trying to be as careful as possible. And then we've got the car here on the right just flickering a little bit, so we're going to be a little extra careful with him and make sure, since it looks like he's got some disconnect issues. But we get a run on the GTR here and tuck onto the inside here, and we can see that the GTR either lifts or hits the brakes and just lets us go. So we're able to make our way through down here, and we're going to make our way through turn 18, just a little lift there, down into the chicanes, turn 19 and 20 on the brakes. This is a really challenging section to get right, and I had quite a few issues throughout as I was trying to pick my way through. But starting 17th, we are now in 18th, just lost one position, even with the little incident there, and we're going to continue on with our race here. After a few minutes of clean racing from everybody, we see the BMW here on the right find the grass coming into the last couple turns here, and we have our first battle pack of the race. So we're going to try and slot in behind this BMW here, have a clean run through Eau Rouge, and possibly take them down the Camel Straight. We do see the BMW putting a nose in behind, so we're going to be conscientious of him and make sure that we don't lose a position to him as well. But we get a good exit out of turn 1, and we're making our way through turn 2 to Eau Rouge. I'm still not fully confident to make it through here without a lift at this point in time, but we do get a good run on the BMW here, so we slot in for slipstream here, almost catch the grass on the outside, but we tuck out just a little bit too early, and I don't know if we caught a side draft or what, but we weren't able to power past him, late on the brakes, and we were able to make the pass going into the turn here. So making our way through, the BMW seemed to lose control there and was passed by the car behind us. So We do have a little bit of space and we pull a little gap here, eyes forward to the Ferrari ahead. Maybe being able to get a little 2-for-1 here on this lap.
Probably not.
And after a few minutes of clean racing, I completely missed my braking point going into turn 19s and 20 and accidentally slammed right into the side of this Ferrari here passing through. I was able to get a hold of him after the race and extend an apology. That was completely my fault. Hand up. I had no idea he was there, but that's awareness that I'll learn as I race further. But that one was completely on me. After gathering ourselves up from the previous mistake, we end up making a bit of time on the BMW in front of us. We hit the brakes, we're close, just not quite close enough. As we make our way through the final turn, they do go a bit wide, and we have a little bit of an opportunity here, knowing we may be able to turn in and get a nice slipstream through a Rouge and make the pass down the Camel Straight. We hit our break point here. We follow them just a bit wide, but we want to make sure we get the best exit as we possibly can. And as we're shifting our way through the gears, making our way towards our Rouge, we're going to stay as close to the wall here as we can on the right. Make sure we cut the corner real nice here. Just the slightest little lift there, and we go wide off the track and end up making the pass. What do you think? I definitely passed him off the track. However, in this case, I didn't get a warning and he clearly lifted after the fact. So, is this a clean pass or should I have given it back? What do you think? As we make our way onto the last lap of this race, we just put up a lap that was a second and a half faster than our previous best. So, it seems we've found a bit of a groove. We're going to try and improve on that here and see what we can do. So as we make our way towards the Rouge, we're going to try and stay to the right side here and cut this first corner as tight as we can. Been working all race trying not to lift through here, and we still had a little bit of a lift, end up running wide, just haven't quite figured out the line how to make it through there yet. But fortunately, we weren't given a track limits warning, so we carry on here. And as we make our way into turn 7, 8, 9, we're going to hit our break point here and slide just a bit, go just a little bit wide on the first apex, cut this first corner here, or the second corner rather, and get a good exit so that we can make our way down towards turn 11, or turn 10 and 11. We're going to hit our break point here, dive in. We cut this a bit shallow, run a little deep, but try and salvage it as best we can. We come out here and we've struggled with turn 12, or turn 11 rather, sorry, this entire race. We just keep going wide and can't seem to figure it out. So as we make our way finally towards turn 12 now, we're going to hit our break point, cut this in nice and tight, carry out wide, and try and make this one smooth turn here. So as you can see, we're just barely about at the exact same projected lap as our previous best. We make our way through this sequence of turns here. Not too bad, not the best, but we do lose a little bit of time. Making our way into turn 15, we run just a bit wide and catch another track limits strike on us. But we're not going to let that stop us. We're still trying to get a better lap than the previous one. So we're making our way through turn 17 and we're going to try and carry this flat. Again, been struggling with this entire race. We're able to cut it and just barely be able to make it through without lifting, which gives us a good run towards the final chicane. We hit our break point, downshift all the way to first, and we catch the first apex and the second apex, and we're able to make up a little bit of time. So we crossed the line 20th overall for an ELO drop of minus 52 and a safety rating drop of 0.15. And on to qualifying of race 2, we are finally putting together a relatively good lap, dropping about a second and 3/4 on this one. Still about 5 seconds off the pace, but this would be the best lap that we would be able to put together on Spa so far. So as we make our way through Blanchimont, we're trying to ace these corners here so we can set up the chicane nice, and we step just a little bit wide, and you can see the disappointment.
Oh,
We start race 2 in 17th position, similar to the last race. We're going to try to have a better start this time and not get spun around on the first lap, keep it nice and tidy, and ultimately just have a little bit better of a race here. So figured out how to warm my tires up just a bit better, but on rewatching the clip, it seems like all I was doing was really just picking up marbles since I'm on the dirty side of the track. But nonetheless, we are getting just a little bit better at it. So starting on or in 17th position, we're going to be on the outside for the first turn of Eau Rouge, inside of the second, and we're just going to try and keep it as clean as possible. So as we wait for the lights to turn green, we're just going to try and hold it. Lights go green, and we get an excellent jump here alongside the BMW, and we're able to make a couple moves here just on the run we've got, but we're going to leave plenty of room here and stay out of trouble. We see a nice little gap on the left side, so we're going to dive up it and catch the slipstream from the BMW in front of us. We've got a bit of a run on the Ferrari here, so luckily he gave us just a little bit of room and then ends up slotting in behind us at the end of this straight. So we're going to let off and hit the brakes just a little bit early on cold tires. We don't want to run into the back of the BMW. As we make our ways through turns 7, 8, and 9, we're doing pretty solid so far, and it seems as though we've lost the pack behind us just a touch. But fortunately, we have no worries of getting ran into the back of here in this turn here. So we pick our way through nice and easy, sliding a little bit on cold tires, but still not too bad. We run a little bit wide here, but again, we're just trying to keep it nice and tidy, as tidy as we can at least. So making our way towards the back end of the track, and we get a nice beautiful sunset here that comes to bite us a little bit later in the race as the visibility was getting a bit difficult to see there, but still just tagging on to the back of this pack here, and we're able to pull just a bit more out on the cars behind us. So making our way into turns 13, 14, and 15, just again keeping it nice and tidy and trying to hold our lines here. So we catch the inside of the curb, run it out wide, but end up having quite a nice line, and just trying to catch this pack ahead of us, latch onto the back of them, and extract some good lap time. Making our way through Blanchimont, we end up turning in and just a little lift there, but nothing too bad. And unfortunately, the audio cut out here, so I apologize, but I did get it figured out, so it won't be happening again. Through the chicane, nice and tidy, and as we cross the line on this first lap of Spa, we were able to go from 17th position starting to 10th position at the end of the first lap. We're going to latch onto these guys and run it for quite a few minutes without too much going on. A few laps down the road, we have the pack behind us is starting to catch up to us, and we make our way into the chicane, and the BMW behind gets awful close to us, and luckily we don't get ran into the back of, but we're making our way onto the third lap here with a huge pack behind and just one car in front of us. So we're trying to catch this this car ahead and just hopefully keep the cars behind at bay, and make sure that we're not getting into an accident and damaging our safety rating. So on our way up to Eau Rouge, we're staying as far right as we can, and we have finally found enough confidence to make it through Eau Rouge flat without lifting, even though on this one we did have to lift just a touch to stay on the track. And unfortunately, because of that lift, the BMW behind has quite a run on us. So we're just staying in the racing line, and if he'd like to pass us, he's going to have to pass us on the inside. We hit our brake point, and he runs it in. It seemed a bit reckless to me to try and go too wide into this turn, and unfortunately, if you saw the indicator in the middle of the track, I didn't realize that that second car was there, and he ended up making it through as well. So now in the middle of this battle pack, we're just trying to keep it tidy. We don't want to run into the car in front of us, and we definitely don't want to be getting rear-ended behind, but we can see that this Porsche ahead is awful feisty with the BMW, so I honestly didn't mind letting him through too much, and I was thinking that there may be an incident between these two, and we might be able to capitalize on it. So the Porsche makes his way through a lot cleaner than I was expecting, and just trying to keep pace with these guys. I am still, a rookie driver, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can. So any opportunity I have to slot in behind a faster driver and learn from them and try and extract lap time is honestly a huge benefit to me. But I do see this BMW stick a nose in, and driving in my mirrors a little bit, I ended up running it wide into that turn. So got a little bit of gravel on the tires, but overall we were able to keep him behind, and it seemed as though he had backed out. So we've got a bit of a run here. Don't have to lift. We're coming in real nice to the chicane, and we hit our brake point just beautifully, and turn into the chicane, and we ash just a little too much of the tires and lose the rear end. So with flashbacks of the previous race and me accidentally hitting a car, we just let the pack through and carry on, hopefully incident free for the rest of this lap. But unfortunately, we did lose 5 positions on that one lap, so um, obviously not what we want to see, but I can feel that I'm asking too much of the tires and just getting a bit impatient trying to go faster, and it's not working out. So um, trying to carry on and mind of a goldfish, just forget about it and continue to drive as safe as I can. We don't want to hurt the safety rating unnecessarily. We fast forward to the start of our last lap. We've been relatively incident free to this point, and we were able to pick up 3 positions over the course of the race between now and the previous cut in the video, just from spun cars and nothing crazy, nothing worth showing. So we make our way on our final lap through Eau Rouge, and we've got a Ferrari behind us and the Honda NSX. We make our way through Eau Rouge relatively scrappy, and the Ferrari looks like he might have a run on us, but with our superior straight line speed, we're able to pull away just a bit and hit our brake marker safe and sound still ahead. So we make our way through turn 7, 8, 9, and relatively clean. Could be better, but not too bad. And I also want to draw attention to the top left corner. If you were with us for my qualifying lap fail, I was running a 2 minute, 22 second and point 0.6, and it was at that point that was my fastest lap that I was able to put together. And unfortunately, it did fall apart. But in this race, in race trim, not qualifying trim, I was able to put together a 2 minute, 22 second .182 lap, which was a really nice lap. It was actually the previous lap that I had there, and I was overall pretty happy with that. I struggle with Spa quite a bit, just all the fast or high speed turns and how much time you can lose down the straight if you don't just get it absolutely perfect. So I was really happy with that, and it was nice to see some progress made, even though I'm still about 5 to 7 seconds off the pace. But back to our final lap here, we pulled quite a gap on the Honda NSX and the Ferrari behind, and we're thinking that we're going to be able to drive this one home, finishing in 12th position. But we make our way here and run just a little bit wide, and I have to lift huge coming into the chicane here, and you can see the NSX is coming up on the inside of us, and I left the door open, and he just ran into the side of me, and then I got hit by the Ferrari as well. So, is that my fault, or did he just run into the side of me? Let me know in the comments below. And for a cameo from my friend Rich.
What a piece of shit.
In this race, we see an ELO drop of -12 and a safety rating drop of -0.07. It was a scrappy 2 races this week. I went on to complete 2 extra races with my friend Rich, who you just heard in the previous clip. Unfortunately, in both races, we ran into each other and completely killed our results as well as our safety rating, with an ELO drop of 24 and a drop in safety rating by zero point 0.8. We'll look to clean it up next week at Silverstone and see how we can do. Again, if you liked what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing for videos like this every single week. Until next time.